Hey,
Hello.
it's Sacred Ways, Lisa's Attic, and tonight's we want to talk to you about the Me Too and taking a different spin on it. So we're going to start with Nelson, and then I'm going to have a quick story. So go ahead.
Well, Me Too has been in the news quite a bit, and something that kind of hit home for me, and this is something that I shared with some friends recently. But as we've been building our sacred ways, we've been getting a lot of friend requests, many people who we've never met. And one of the things that I noticed is that Lisa started getting some comments from men. Hey, how you doing? Basically, it was pretty clear that they were trying to pick her up. Flirting with her. She very clearly stated that she was married, and but they continued. They persisted, and we had to unfriend some of these people, and that really hit home for me because I guess as a guy, sometimes we don't really see things from a woman's point of view, and it got me thinking, if this is what women go through, or this is just something through Facebook,
Hmm.
I can't imagine what it must be like in the workplace, women having to deal with this day in and day out. In other words, it came so easy with what was happening as we were building our sacred ways that I have no doubt that this happens in the
Yeah,
workplace.
it does. It does.
As for me, being a male elementary teacher, I'm surrounded by female teachers, and you know that doesn't happen. So not to say that this hasn't happened with women taking advantage of men. There were a couple of cases in the news, but clearly this is predominantly something that the men are doing to women. So as a guy, I'm ashamed that this happens, and I apologize for
Hmm.
that women have to deal with this. Again, that's something that kind of hit home for me. So I just wanted to get that message
So
out
big
that
apologize.
yeah, and
Oh,
the men,
apology.
they really need to uh, watch what they say, watch what they do. Again, in school, when I first started teaching, I would cringe when a student would hug me. Usually a female student, I would cringe, uh, and I've become a little bit more comfortable, with the students hugging me. But I'm always thinking of that.
Right.
I've told you the story. With my coworkers, I had a female coworker that I worked with for a few years, and I would never compliment her on her hair or anything, just kind of keep quiet. And we had one sub, and I forget how it was, but I said, "Yeah, bright eyes." And she's like, "Oh, bright eyes, me? I get new hair. You don't say anything. Now she's bright eyes."
Aw.
So yeah, that was kind of a light moment. But I try to be reserved at work, and be mindful of that. And I wish guys were like that everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to share. Something that kind of hit home for me recently, and kind of brought this to light
Yeah.
as to what women might be going through.
I think it's nice that you hear from somebody who's not in the news, who's not in trouble, who's just kind of seeing it. He's not being forced to tell his story because he doesn't really have anything bad. But it's a nice point. For me, I look at it this way: we women should not be looking at this as a man bashing thing. I don't want that to be what this is about. I am proud of the women who stood up. I'm extremely proud. But we've heard this in the news, and that side has been said enough. What I want to do is that we as women have to now raise our boys, you know, raise our boys to be good men. That's what we should be doing now. When we first moved to Pennsylvania, I had gone to Pennsylvania. It was 1991, and my neighbor came over, and she says, "Oh, you have girls?" And I'm like, "Yes, I have two girls and two boys." And she said, "Oh, I'm glad I only have boys because boys can't get pregnant." That was the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard, because in my mind I'm thinking, well, who do you think they get pregnant? Not my daughters. So this was the mentality, and this was 1991. It was very acceptable to say that men go out and they sow their oats, they conquest, and I think it's like the time of the caveman where they grab the woman by the hair and drag them into the cave, and this was all acceptable. And we should take the pressure off, guys. I think we need to let men know that it's okay, that you don't have to be uh, the conqueror. We don't want to be your conquest. We don't want to be a notch in your belt. We want to be your friend. And if we can take that pressure off men and raise good boys to understand that this is a give and take relationship, a friendship that begins, that starts out as a friendship and maybe becomes something else, I think we would really raise good boys. We have given them such different beginnings. I said, with nurturing, we nurture them to be, go out there, go get your woman, go do that, and ask the girl out. And we should tell our girls. I told my daughters, if you like someone, it's nothing wrong with asking a boy out. Hey, I like you. Would you like to get coffee? We should be allowed as women to do the same thing that we're expecting the men to always do. It's very difficult for men. I mean, you must feel like you're always under the pressure to ask the woman out, so they're kind of forced into that role. I know that's going to probably get everybody upset. They're not. That's how we're raising them to be like that. So if we could try really hard and raise our boys to have that respect. A boy who loves his mom is going to be a boy who loves his partner. That's really, really important. So it starts with us. It starts with us nurturing our boys and, just giving them the understanding, take the pressure off of them. They don't have to do that. They don't have to be that big conquest. What do you think? How do you feel about that?
I think that's a good message for tonight.
So it should be an equal. I think if we try to understand that it should be an equal playing field, we would do really good for relationships. There's 3 things in a relationship that I told my kids, and I'm going to share that. Okay? So this is my philosophy. Okay? My philosophy is that you have to be best friends. And that starts with, there is something about romance and chivalry, and that doesn't mean going endless, how would you say, wooing someone. It's maybe those romantic things like you opening up the door for me, holding someone's hand. We like that, man. We like that emotional bond. And if you were to learn that we want to be your friends first, it would be a great relationship. So that's it. Be a best friend. Second is a good sense of humor, because life is so tough. You're going to need a good sense of humor to get through that. And the third, and this is going to be controversial, a good kisser. I say that because kissing is the most intimate, wonderful thing two people can share at any moment of the day. It takes 2 seconds to give someone a kiss and say, hey, I love you. Those 3 things, if we can remember that, probably have a good relationship. So on that note, we're going to say, take care from Sacred Ways. Lisa's at it again.
Kao Marish.
Mwah. There you go. All right. Bye-bye.